What is the consequences of you not taking action on the midterm rental insurance opportunity if you're an Airbnb operator and just keep on doing what you're doing, even if things are going well? Well, here's the thing. I'm going to sound like one of those scarcity tactic marketers that there's only five left when there's really like 500 in the inventory. We've all done that, right? Call 1-800 number now. They're all going to go. And this isn't one of those situations. Here's why. Quite frankly, I actually have no dog in the race for you to take action because I've already taken the action. And I'll tell you why at the end of this video in a second. It's actually why I'm sharing this information and why I think it behooves you to take action and what's in it for me anyways. Like, why am I doing this on YouTube? Well, A, because I love to do what I do. As you can see how many videos I have on here. But I do have an ulterior motive. I think it's important for me to be transparent. However, here's why you should definitely be taking action. And this is no scarcity tactic by any means, because the reality is and the truth is that relationships are few and far between, or behooves you, I should say, to make these relationships on the earlier side, because it's only a matter of time till marketers ruin everything, because they always do. Now, here's the thing. The consequences of you just doing what you're doing is great. The problem is, and the truth is, if you continue to do what you're doing as an Airbnb operator, it's only a matter of time that you've seen these regulations are going to come left, right, and center. As you can see, the marketplace does get flooded. Now, if you're willing to play the game and be the best and top percentile, as you should, then go for that. You should be the best, and the best will continue to serve the marketplace, especially in the Airbnb space. But if you're like, I've kind of spent a lot of the money that I have, and I'm pretty up to speed, like photography, dynamic pricing, great design, etc., and things are starting to slow down, this is actually a good opportunity to be early and have another tool on your tool belt, because you do not want to be the operator that to everything that you see is a nail because all you have is a hammer. You want to be able to have different tools, and this tool allows you to continue to do what you're doing. It allows you to continue to do what you're doing. Here's why that's important, because I, as an operator, like to have an exit strategy, multiple exit strategies, even if I'm focusing on my main baby. And it's very important that you foster these relationships in this space early, because people tend to do business with people that they know already. And so, Ruben, what does this all mean? It means that you want to exist in the right databases early, as soon as possible, like ALE Solutions, THCRS, Temporary Housing, Furnish Finder. That's not a database, that's an OTA. Airbnb, you want to optimize things the right way, make yourself available, make yourself pet friendly, open up the doors to serving these families that are displaced, right? Duplicating your listing, I talk about that all the time. Optimize your listing so that you become available. People who are available get bookings, and people who get bookings have the relationship, and people who have the relationship will then open up the doors to having more volume come their way of this type of avatar that's looking for a temporary housing solution for them and their family, and looking for a like home like yours in your neighborhood because they faced an unforeseen event. Now, I'm not saying that that family is going to come back and stay due to multiple unforeseen events, but the person that is helping them, that they're working with, whether you work directly with the family, there's always someone that's working with them, whether it's a temporary housing solution agency or a relocation specialist or their insurance adjuster. All those people, through them, if they come through you, you should get their information. An easy hack, I love this hack, by the way, when you're setting up the lease or you're doing it on Airbnb, just ask them, who is it that you're working with and who is setting this up for you? We do always require a contact information as a backup emergency contact, or the person who's in charge of actually making the payments. Then you get the adjuster's information, the relocation specialist information. You hold on to it, you build it, you nurture it so that they can continue to send more people their way, because you'd be surprised, this is not what you do every day. But I'm telling you, from my experience and from their experiences, they are relocating families nationwide, left, right, and center for all of the above. You name it. Water damage, trees falling, pipes bursting, floors needing to be redone. I even had a family that came to me because they unhooked, or they hooked the washer, the dishwasher incorrectly, and just water just came all over. And now they had water damage. They needed to vacate the home. They need to take out the floors. And these can just start at a month, but certainly can extend, because we know it is hard to find good work, and work is hard to find. So therefore, it takes a while for these families to have their home redone, rebuilt, and you then become the plug, the go-to provider with the asset that you have, and you didn't have to change anything at all. All that you had to do was have a furnished accommodation, aka Airbnb, aka short-term rental, with the right knowledge to transition into a mid-term rental strategy, or at least not fully transition, but added on as an additional opportunity or additional weapon for you to utilize in your portfolio in order to stay 100% occupied, if not a little bit less, increase your occupancy, and of course, your profitability. That is the beauty of it. You have to do the math. If you do the math, you realize that even if you're full for the next 90 days at that very premium rate, you can then even afford a couple of days, a couple of weeks, even a month off in this space. That's how crazy it is. And that is also why we love to run the hybrid, because I do not believe that you should stop doing what you're doing if it's working. I believe that you should be prepared to have an exit plan, because, or I should say, a separate, a side parallel strategy. So, because it's only a matter of time. It's if and not when there is a market slowdown. It's if and not when, or it's when and not if there is a market slowdown, and it is when and not if there will be regulations in your marketplace. So with that said, now you know what the consequences are if you don't take action, right? Is, again, things changing in your marketplace, you then having to scramble and try the strategy later on. There will be others that are early who have fostered the relationships, who will be the go-to providers and even sometimes preferred vendors. If you have multiple properties, more than one, definitely tap in. Ask them, what would it look like for me to become a preferred vendor, with brackets, before the marketplace gets flooded? You heard it to you live. Hit the subscribe button if you got any value from this. Remember, there is always an alternative, and our truths are all paradigms, and our paradigms determine what we see and what we look out for and how we habitually run our businesses. It is in our best interest to continue to stay educated, to then continue to see different paradigms, to have different opportunities that we can then take advantage of to increase your occupancy and profitability. Make it a great one.